Settlement, or indefinite leave to remain, comes almost automatically after 5 years' residence in this country. At that point, a migrant gains access to many of the rights of a British citizen, including to benefits. That will now change. As this government announced in its immigration white paper, the starting point for settlement will move from 5 years to 10. To ensure this is earned, new criteria will be added. Firstly, the applicant must have a clean criminal record. Secondly, they must speak English to A-level standard. Thirdly, they must have made sustained national insurance contributions. And finally, they must have no debt in this country. Finally, this consultation addresses the question of the so-called Boris wave. Specifically, the cohort of lower qualified workers who entered the country along with their dependents through the health and care visa, some of whom are never expected to be net economic contributors. It is right that we apply more stringent controls for this group, and for that reason we propose they should wait 15 years before they can earn settlement. Crucially, for these and every other group mentioned here, we propose these changes apply to everyone in the country today who has not yet received indefinite leave to remain, though we are seeking views on whether there should be some transitional arrangements available.
About an hour ago, the government finally released some more information on the proposed increase to the settlement period in the UK from 5 to 10 years, also known as the qualifying period for ILR. This is the big immigration change that has been giving migrants sleepless nights since the white paper was released back in May. Hi, I'm Michelle Lee, UK immigration solicitor, and this is what you need to know today. The government has opened a consultation into the change, which is a standard procedural step, and it's accompanied by a consultation document, which is where we get the information from. I'll link it in the comments. The consultation is open till the 12th of February 2026, which means that none of this is law yet, and it won't be until at least February next year. But we do know it's coming. There are two new key phrases: earned settlement, which appears in the document 34 times, and baseline qualifying period, which appears 17 times. These represent pretty new concepts in the idea of qualifying for ILR, and I want to unpick the details in later videos. The big question that I know you will want answered is, will all of this apply to migrants who are already here? Frustratingly, the document doesn't tell us. It only tells us that the extent to which transitional provisions will exist to protect people who have already started routes to ILR are still to be decided, so we're none the wiser basically. My own view, and what experience tells me, is that big changes like this rarely come without transitional provisions, and it would be incredibly harsh for the Home Office to make a huge change like this without accepting people who are already on the routes. I'll be posting more updates in the days and weeks ahead, so do follow along. And if you'd like tailored advice about what this means for you, you can contact me via my website, links in my bio. Immigration Law by Michelle Lee, helping my clients feel safer in these incredibly stressful times.
Proposal to raise the threshold for indefinite leave to remain from 5 years to 20 is deeply concerning. At a time when far-right groups exploit fear and spread misinformation, our government should lead with compassion and fairness, not forcing some of the most vulnerable in our society to live in limbo for 2 decades. Will the Minister explain how denying security and rights for 2 decades reflects British values of justice and humanity? And what will access to services look like for people during that time?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi, aka Petite Diva, and if you've been following this channel, you know that I am a University of Nottingham alumni and also a Developer Solutions Scholarship Award winner. Now, usually I talk about everything concerning UK education and international students, how to survive in the UK as an international student, how to apply for courses in UK universities, and how to apply for the best courses that fit you as an international student in the UK. But this video is different. This video is not entirely about school. It's about the immigration issues that have been occurring in the UK, and this video is inspired by the latest UK rules that have been revealed by the Labour government concerning the indefinite leave to remain pathway for a lot of people. Now, I started talking about UK education, I think in 2022, and quite a lot of people who used my services and now were in my Telegram group and relocated to the UK in 2023. So some of the people who relocated in 2023 will be on the journey to indefinite leave to remain, and I just wanted to just talk about some of the things that have been said. Now, I'm not really going to list the things that were said or the things that have been proposed, which I believe that at least 90% of what has been said is going to be implemented. And if you've been following some of the predictions I've made concerning immigration pathway in the UK, you would know that I'm like 85% always correct. Now, one of the things that I said in 2023, I believe, was that the post-study work visa will not be cancelled, but I see it being reduced to 18 months. And we all know that that has been implemented. From January 2027, it's going to be 18 months. So I was right. Now, there are a lot of things that have been said that has really made some people worried, especially those who are on their post-study work visa and probably are transitioning to get COS for some jobs that are not qualified as high-skilled jobs, because of some of the things that have been said in the new rules that most likely will be implemented. Now, I know that quite a lot of people got COS and are working on the care visa job, or they are working on care visa, and according to the new rule, those that are on care visa are going to have to wait like 15 years to get indefinite leave to remain. Now, I don't particularly understand that part, because I thought that they said they are going to stop care visa in 2028. So where is the 15 years proposal coming from? Now, I probably think that they might reconsider the care visa after 2028, because if you're saying someone has to stay 15 years on the care visa before they can apply for indefinite leave to remain, that means you are thinking that you're going to extend it. That's my own thought about it, but it could be that they just said it just to say, I don't know. We don't know about it, or maybe they made an error with that. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But then again, they said low paid workers, so it's not exactly those on care visa. And there are some things that were said in the new rules, and it basically, to me, just said we want immigrants, but we don't want all immigrants. We want the highly skilled immigrants. We want the high-earning immigrants. We want the immigrants that are on the straight and narrow. We want the immigrants that are not going to need our funds. We are not going to get any benefits from us. We want the immigrants that are going to be proper. We want the immigrants that are going to speak proper English. We want the immigrants that are going to be able to integrate into our system without causing problems. We want immigrants that are going to add a lot of value to our system and not take anything out, except have the privilege, because it's a privilege, not a right, to be in the UK. And that's basically what they want. So they understand that they need immigrants, but they don't want all immigrants. And I think it's caused by some immigrants causing a lot of problems. There are some immigrants from some particular countries that are causing a lot of problems for most countries in the Western world, in Europe. And to be honest, a lot of them are tired, and they cannot effectively kick them out or just up and remove everybody. So now they are trying to frustrate a lot of people so that they don't eventually come to the UK. So I cannot blame them from trying to protect their citizens, but in all that they are doing, there's still going to be some people that are not causing problems that are going to be affected. Now, there's the whole asylum thing. It's not really something I'm going to talk about, but we know who they are targeting. If you are aware. You know who they're targeting. So now, for those who are on care visa and are seeing this whole rules, it can be discouraging. But if you are in a house that is a two-income house, that's for those that have spouses, either male or female, this might be the time to like do some discussions and have a plan if you want to remain in the UK. Now, if you are thinking of remaining in the UK with the care visa, I don't think that's very realistic. So, personally, I would say that if one person is on care visa and has the COS, the dependent or someone else would have to go back to school. You might not like what I want to say, but it has to be said. Someone who has been on care visa, someone who has been doing care work and seeing how things are going, if you can decide one person has to go back to school and go for nursing, that's just the idea that I can give you. That's the only idea I can give you. Go back and do nursing. Nursing is about 3 years or so, because they want highly skilled people. And some of the highly skilled people that they are targeting, they want are the doctors and nurses and allied health professionals, some of them. So if you can go back to nursing after 3 years, the other person is on COS working, I think you can also work as a nurse or something like that. It will still be the 20 hours. You come out with your nursing degree, you do your licensing exam, you get a place. After like some years, you are going to be able to apply for indefinite leave to remain. So I don't know, it might be something some people might consider, but it's not for everyone, because nursing, healthcare is not for everyone. So another thing for those who are single, I don't know, they said if you are married to someone that is a British citizen, it might reduce the time that you would be able to get ILR. So that's something you might consider. Another thing is to look for high paying job, but you have to upskill yourself. That's it. You have to get more skills. So it's not just working packing shift and the rest. You have to upskill yourself and start looking at those jobs that are paying that amount. And if you have the skill, if you have the knowledge, start applying to those jobs. You might have to apply a lot, but it is what it is. If you want to put the time towards getting ILR, I looked at the concession that they made. If you are able to speak English very well, you have -1 year. If you are high earning, you have -3, -7. If you're on global talent or innovator visa, it's 3 years to get ILR. So those are other options. There's no point screaming and shouting, hey, this is classism, hey, this, start having plan B. And I've always said it on my channel. You have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, plan F, because these people, they don't get sense. Let me just leave it like that. They don't get sense. They change mind like anything. So you have to be like always one step ahead. One of the things that makes me not get shocked anytime I see some of the things that they make or some of the proposal that they are given is because most of the time when they are talking about immigration, I always check the comment section and see how some of the citizens talk and some of the suggestions those citizens say. And because I know some of these politicians are on the internet, are checking social media to see what people are saying so that they can at least adapt to the populace and get their rating up. I'm always now shocked when they do things. In fact, I'm even surprised that they did not go further than what they have said. Because I know some people in the Conservative and Reform Party have harsher thoughts towards immigration. So I'm surprised they did not say something like, oh, they're going to start screening people based on their religion. I'm surprised they've not started saying they're going to start screening people based on their social media posts. because those are some of the things that some countries are already looking at. So I'm surprised UK has not adopted that part. It's possible Reform and Conservative also think like that. Also, I'm not surprised that they included English fluency into some of their visa categories as part of some of the things you have to submit or prove before you qualify for the visa, because I've seen some people be in the UK for quite a lot of time, like decades, and you're not speaking English properly, and I'm like, are you okay? How are you in the country for 20 years, 30 years, and you're not integrating into the country? So when they brought out that policy, I was not surprised. And anyway, that's my thought about the new proposed immigration rules for legal immigrants. I don't know what you guys think about it. I would love to hear your own opinion. Do you think that it was some of the things that they said was okay, or do you think that it was too extreme? If you have any suggestion that they can take, you can leave it in the comment section, because I know sometimes they check the comment section of some videos, of some posts, and it gives them an idea of things to do. So maybe they might consider some of the things that you are saying in the comment section. So leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon right side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.